Welcome to the Panic Button, everyone. I'm Indoor Shades.
And I'm Doodlebug. We hear you, one guy in the comments.
And today we're reacting to Don Lemon on Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan asks Don a question, and Don's response will surprise you, or not.
You saw a young female Italian boxer quit after 40 seconds because she'd never been hit that hard and genuinely feared for her life. And Iman Khalif goes on to win gold medal at the Olympics. Does that not ring an alarm bell for you, Don? I mean, do you not think that the reason we separate sexes in the Olympics is because males have an advantage? I mean, why would you not think that's important? If
do you want me to tell you the truth? Let me tell you about Piers. I'll tell you the truth about this. I heard about this story, but it's not something that I focus on. I'm not watching the Olympics like that. Maybe I'm different. I'm just not. I'm not that interested in watching everything. I like to watch the swimming. I like to watch the gymnasts. I'm not interested in boxing or any of that because I think it's a brutal sport anyway. So for me, it's just not that interesting. I'm sorry that anybody was hit that hard, but if you put yourself in the arena to be hit and someone hits you hard, then whose fault is that?
Well, you expect to be hit by other women, not men.
Well, I don't know that. I don't know who she expected to be hit by.
We call it
I'm sure she saw, I'm sure whoever was in that competition understood who they were going into the ring with. And if you put yourself in that competition in the middle of a ring where punches are being thrown, then you can expect to get hit hard, whether it is a man or a woman. And that's all I have to say about that.
So you would have no objection to men fighting women in a boxing ring?
I did not say that. I just said that's all I have to say about that.
But isn't that the implication of what you're saying?
No, I've said in many different ways, that's all I have to say about that.
So what I'm saying is, I don't care if the woman signed up for it. So if she signed up to be hit in general, what does it matter if it's a man or a woman? No, she signed up for women's boxing, which implies that she'd be boxing women. She was not told she'll be boxing someone who has a penis. That is the point.
That's correct. She was not told that she was going to be fighting a biological man. So when she showed up and she saw that dude, she was told, that's a lady. Until she got hit by him, and then she realized, that ain't no lady.
How ridiculous. You're going to claim that you don't really care, but you have an opinion.
Right. So apparently you do care to some degree, or else you wouldn't have even said anything.
Exactly. You care enough.
This is, in fact, so I'm going to read a few comments. One person said, this is, in fact, the Democrat position. If women don't want to compete against men, then they shouldn't get to compete. Literally saying she was asking for it, another person said. Someone else said, she was asking to be violently assaulted by a man because she was out walking alone at night. She'd been drinking. She was wearing a short skirt. She chose to do boxing. I mean, it's the same thing. If I go out and walk at night and I get violently attacked by some random dude, Don Lemon would be the first to blame me because I chose to go walk outside at night. It makes no sense.
Based on this, yeah.
Makes no sense at all. So someone else said, Lemon is wrong because the authorities told Angela Carini that Iman Khalif was a woman. Angela knows women aren't as strong as men, so she accepted. She found out the hard way that he was a man. She has grounds to sue.
Yep. She should.
How did he become so retarded? Or was he always retarded?
I will continue to say that this sounds like a gay man. No straight man.
He's a gay man.
I know he's a gay man, but even if I didn't know that he was a gay man...
You'd think he was a gay man.
Because it just shows how much you don't care about a woman's safety. How much you don't think about women's safety. How much it doesn't matter. Because only a man would think, oh, you signed to get hit. What does it matter if it's a man or a woman? Because that's a man's mentality. You don't have a daughter. You don't have women you care about. Or else you wouldn't be talking like this. I guarantee you, if he has any kids, they're sons. There's no way that he has any daughters. There's no way this man cares for a single woman.
No, doubtful. Doubtful. Unacceptable.
You don't get it. They're gonna get it. Well, someone will. His name's Lemon Grab.
Oh, is this a SpongeBob reference again?
Nope.
What is it?
Adventure Time.
Adventure Time. Okay. I've never seen Adventure Time, so.
Tell her how good it is, and I'm going to show her all the comments. Tell her why she has to watch it with me, please. And that's the only thing that you can really say out of this. It's a man who clearly doesn't care about women, nor their safety. And I'm not surprised he's gay. I would have assumed he was, even if it wasn't public knowledge.
How could he blame a woman who didn't know that she was going to fight a man? That it's her fault for getting beat up by a man in the ring?
Because in a man's brain, when you've been told women are just as strong as men, women are just as strong as men, men already feel like they can take on anything because they're men. So if a man attacks them, that's a man attacking them. That's equal. If a woman attacks them, they are less strong, so it's not really a big deal. To them, whether it's a man or a woman, it's the same fight, hypothetically. They're fighting the same difficulty. But for a woman, it's not the same, and that's what he doesn't understand. For a man, all fights are fights. For a woman, there's equal and unequal fights.
How could it be her fault if she didn't know she was gonna go up against a man? How could it because she chose to do boxing? She's an Olympic level, like best of the best in the world female boxers. She's been hit by the best of the best female boxers, but she's never been hit by a man pretending to be a woman saying that he's the best female boxer. That rule change that went on, I don't even know. Was it a rule change where they all of a sudden allowed men who identified as women or
I think it was more
men
like
pretending to be women in?
They were going based off the identification cards, I believe.
Okay, so not the actual
Yes.
chromosomal testing in order to
Not
find out.
biological testing, if that's what you're trying to say.
Right. So she trusted the Olympic body that she was going to be fighting a woman before she went in there to
Isn't that
fight.
a committee? They have a committee that decides this stuff, right?
Committee, body,
Hootenanny.
hootenanny. Same difference to me right now. But when you're going to compete and it's a physical competition, like the female UFC fighters, right? Mm-hmm. They went into the octagon, and a couple of them had to fight biological men, but those biological men were pretending to be women, and they were allowed to go in there and fight them. Did they know ahead of time that these people weren't biological women? I don't know.
Doubtful.
But I don't believe that they would have fought a biological man if they would have known it was a biological man. No
Probably
woman
wouldn't
would have taken
chose
that
to,
on.
No.
Right.
No.
No woman would have taken that on.
Unless they really wanted press, but even then.
Right. But now the UFC, well, not like today now, but they made a rule saying that men can't compete against women in the UFC unless they transitioned before puberty, which would give them a little, like a hair more for the females, a fighting chance to fight against them. But even still, I've only seen 2 men pretending to be women fighters in the UFC, and they're no longer fighting. And you don't see any more men pretending to be women fighting in the UFC because I highly doubt Dana White would allow it.
No, it's also just not fair sports. Like, it's hard to make a man at any point equal to a woman, physically.
Right. How do you reduce his strength? How do
you know what is the comparison? Is like a 4'5" man comparable to a 5'1" woman? You know, like what is the ratio?
I mean, I guess at that point it would have to be like a 5-foot man fighting a 6'4" woman.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I guess that would be the only comparable strength.
Like
when
we'd
it
have
came
to
down
go.
to it.
We'd have to go to like certain measurements. Can this woman lift this much weight? Can this man lift this much weight?
What's the strength of the punch of this man in comparison to this woman?
How long can this woman run? How long can this man? Like we're gonna have to compete. Like versus brutal statistics to compare if it's a fair fight versus just going with men versus women. And that's why it's so unfair because there are natural deviations in men and women, and that's what makes the sports fun. When it's taking men just versus women in general, the men are going to naturally be stronger, and therefore it takes all the fun out of the competition.
Yeah, the only people that want to watch men box women are men that hate women and women that hate women.
Yeah, probably.
Either way, it's not a fair fight. I highly doubt they would allow people to bet on that because everyone would know who would win. That's why you don't see a whole bunch of these organizations creating competitions where men fight women.
Although if they do start betting, I'm getting in on that action.
Everyone would. So much so that you wouldn't win anything if you did win because you'd be betting against the man, for the man and against the woman. Everybody would. And because of that, you wouldn't get a payout.
Yeah.
What, a penny? That's the payout you would get. Because everyone knows, even if they say they don't, everyone knows that men are stronger than women.
It's true.
But hey, no, it's the lady's fault that she got hit so freaking hard she had to quit. It's her fault. Yeah, Don, you're making yourself look great. Your failed podcast is really doing well. I wonder why. Maybe it's because you're an arrogant, narcissistic, morally arrogant fruit.
Are we just about done?
Yes.
Awesome. I want you to put this in right at the end.
Let's play it right now.
This castle is in unacceptable condition! Unacceptable!
And that's all I have to say about that. Like and subscribe, everybody.
Yeah, honestly, sorry for the bit of a nothing burger, but Don Lemon deserved to be canceled. And if you have any other opinions, let us know in the comments below. Not canceled, but like, you got bad takes, people aren't going to listen. And that's not getting canceled. That's not being listened to because you have bad takes. Bye, Don.
Or we will listen to you and just make fun of you. And Don already got canceled.
That's what I mean.
It's just coming around again for round 2.
I don't believe in canceling, but I believe in boycotting, which is an American right, and that's all that happens, is you are boycotted out of existence. Your true fans will stick around, but you got boycotted. Sorry. Bye.
Cry